Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Feargiveness Frequency, where today we are hosting our very first mastermind in the conscious community of the healthy, wealthy insiders. And this beautiful community came together in June for a mastermind where over 50 hearts of healers and expertise came together to share what services and experiences they put out into the world. And we've met so many amazing souls throughout this last month, and many of them are hosting master classes like we are today, right in the community on SKOOL, SKOOL.com. You can check out the events calendar and sign up for any of the free masterminds that are being offered and our weekly calls that are happening to help you to dive into your healing journey, to expand your business if you are a healer, to just be surrounded by a conscious community of others that are working, kind of putting in the work and doing the work to find other ways to heal and to grow their business while doing it. So I am so excited about today. Today, we are going to walk you through what is the forgiveness frequency and how do you upcycle your own trash can of traumas and insecurities. And for many of us, we have big trash cans and we've been holding on to a lot of traumas and insecurities and shame and blame for our entire lives. The forgiveness frequency is a multi-dimensional frequency of healing that is fueled by self-love, self-forgiveness, and gratitude. And I'm just keep checking the screen just to make sure as others join us, we will be able to put in the chat where exactly you are dialing and calling in from. I am on the west coast of America near Seattle, Washington, in the shadow of Mount Rainier in a little town called Puyallup. And I'm a mom of two adulting duos, and I've been a wife for over 25 years. So this is a beautiful experience for me to come and share. How did we get to forgiveness? Why were we guided to build out this frequency that is a free frequency for any of us to tap into? And we all have fears. That's just a given. But how do we upcycle them so they're not continuing to recycle throughout our lives on a constant basis? And going through this experience of living horizontally and disabled, but able, almost 11 years ago, a box fell on my head and crushed my cervical spine while I was working. And through this process, the first 6 years or so were really super dark. And pain was coming out of every pore. And learning through this process that we can hold pain in our bodies and stored within our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, our etheric body. And you might live in chronic pain, but it may not exactly be the pain that you physically can see and experience. So it was a few years ago, 2020, right before the world shut down. I was sitting in a hospital room in a wheelchair in my neck brace, and I was told that I was going to need a feeding tube. I had already been on palliative care for 2 years, end of life care. There was really no succession plan off of it for me. And this was one of my biggest fears, aside from death, that I would lose my voice and have a feeding tube because I wasn't getting enough nutrients with all of the drugs that my body needed to take to sustain my injury. And it was in that moment where I just said no. And I was hugged by the universe and said, you can do this without the drugs. You can do this without the feeding tube. All we have to do is put our rainbow on repeat and start sipping in the goodness of Mother Nature. And I didn't know how, but I was told that this time would be different. And I had met my spirit guides in the years prior when I was placed on palliative care and I was going through really the death process, signing over my power of attorney. I created a eulogy, and that's where it really started to happen for me. It was in the eulogy that I was trying to save pain for my family. I had placed a DNR upon my life, and I knew that the time was coming. And it was in those moments that I was shown that this eulogy was full of gratitude. And I received this pop of color, and it was this beautiful, bright blue pop of color that showed me that there was a way out of pain. There was a way out of death. And all I needed to do was tap into the frequency of gratitude. So I wrapped myself in this blue. I put my gratitude, I put my eulogy out there to the world in a way of just saying thank you to all of my friends and family and everyone who had gone upon this journey with me. And that changed everything for me. Once I got blue, then I got pink, and then I got red. And then I was shown exactly where I was holding pain in all of the bodies of my being and my light bodies. And I was shown how to upcycle it all and to meet my inner child. And so today I want to take you through what that process is going to look like. I offer an 8-week free program where you get to come together with a group of beautiful souls, learn how to upcycle your trash can, put your rainbow on repeat, and I give you all the tips and tricks to living horizontally in color, to coloring chronic pain, coloring your emotions. And we are going to be hosting this for the last 8 weeks of summer. So really right up until we transition into the beautiful colors of fall. So I want to take you through and see if I can screen share this frequency of forgiveness. Because when you tap into your own fears and you create your own frequency of forgiveness, it's an infinity loop that runs, giving you a hug from the universe. It could go horizontal or it could go vertical based on what type of energy work that you're doing. And it's really the divine father and mother and source energy bringing you every color that there is out there and ways to heal. And as we teach you through forgiveness of all you have to do is stop the spin and stop the rat race and find your center, and miracles start to happen. Let's see. So if you can still see me, let me know in the chat. And I just want to make sure that I constantly am not miss anyone who might be coming into our waiting room. So I will go back and forth as much as I can. So forgiveness, today we're going to be upcycling and showing you how to use forgiveness to your advantage and tap into your own healing frequency. Forgiveness offers the infinity loop of endless possibilities of holistic healing. We can heal through our childhood trauma, any trauma and drama and insecurities that we have held on throughout our whole lives. I believe that we all have a trash can. And for me, my trash can started filling up before I even knew about gestational trauma. It started filling up when I was about 4 years old with a family divorce and having a split family. And then we went into sexual trauma as a child, and that led us into our youthful years of all of the things that we held on to. And there were moments throughout our childhood that we climbed into our trash can. We literally lived inside because we didn't know what to do with the outside world. So everything that we didn't know what to do with went inside our trash can. And by 13, we had a sexual assault that happened when we were 11. And by 13, we were choosing to end our life. And thank goodness that we didn't, and we are still here today. But all of those things were bulging within our trash can. And by 17, going through our body image, bullying, the lack of worthiness, abandonment, all of the additional fears and traumas and insecurities and the shame and blame of it all. By 17, our trash can was literally bulging at the seams. We had just underwent a teen pregnancy and loss. And we were sent to Alaska to visit our father. And it was the last time we saw him again in our life. But under the northern lights of Alaska, something really super magical happened. There was this beautiful connection. And I remember sitting on this bluff in Sedaltna on the Kenai Peninsula of Alaska, and the whales were down below. It's just a beautiful experience. But I remember having a conversation with my higher self, and that 17-year-old just didn't know how to heal everything that was in her trash can. So we made a commitment and a pact that we would close it off and we would come back to it when we were strong enough to heal. And that has really truly saved our life by closing off that trash can, sealing it up and putting it in our closet, tucking it away for a later date, and where we thought we would be able to find the time to be able to go back to it, we would be strong enough. We disassociated from anything and everything that happened in our life, and we moved on. And we came back to Washington State, and within that year of closing off that trash can and really walking away from all of that pain that we were carrying, we met our husband on a blind date, and we were able to really focus on what our life potential could be. And it was very quickly easy to see that with that disassociation, we could use color and we could use clothing in the fashion industry to place a mask upon ourselves. And that's what we did. So we spent 15 years in the fashion industry. But what's so great about that experience is that we were not holding on. We didn't have the weight of the world on our shoulders. That was tucked away, and no one needed to see or hear about it until later on in life. So we colored our new trash can with so many vibrant colors: cash and cars and clothes and trips and living this lifestyle. And I was 28 years old, already a mom of 2, when I was given the most special gift. And that was learning how to dig in my trash can as a leader. And that came when I was handed the keys to my very first Nordstrom store at 28 years old as a store manager. I was the youngest store manager for the company, and it opened up a whole new world of possibilities for me. But the most critical point came 30 days or so into my role, when I received a visit from one of the company presidents. And we went to lunch. It was kind of like millionaire's lunch, lunch with my millionaire. And over a basket of fries at Red Robin, I learned the tips and tricks of really how to be a leader within the fashion industry and keep it simple. And the first thing was that I needed to schedule out time within my week to deal with the ugly stuff. Some people call it the low-hanging fruit. We called it the dirt, the trash can. And that might be people issues. It may be product issues. It may be service issues. And I was told the only three things that I could control within my career was the people I surrounded myself with, the products and services that I put out, and the environment that I created. And once I learned how to actually schedule out those things within my week, it took away the rat race. It took away the being thrown off by things that would just take me off course, a customer service issue or an employee issue. When you have scheduled moments within your week where you can give your full focus and attention, you don't get derailed throughout the week, or most of the time. You're not derailed throughout the week when you stay focused on those 3 things. So Feargiveness and upcycling happens in leadership and in life. I just didn't know the life part at the time. And I spent 8 years transitioning through multiple stores and leadership roles within the company, and in being able to lead and put my heart and soul into the hearts that I was leading through the daily course of service and sales. And when this box fell on my head while I was working, I had just a year prior started to make adjustments in my life because I knew something needed to change. I'd never sat on a yoga mat. I had never meditated. The only readings that I did were leadership. And I had never done any self-development or self-help. And I had taken the time. I just was like, I wanted to find joy in my life. And so I had made very big strides. I had left the job that I loved so much. I started a new career that I thought was going to be my second half, and it was doing something within the coffee business. And I loved coffee, and I was going to be internationally traveling. And the third day on the job, life decided to give me a different pathway, and a box fell in my head and crushed my cervical spine, leaving me permanently disabled, living horizontally from a pillow. And that brings us here today. So 3 years ago, when we started this journey off of palliative care, sipping in the rainbow, it really, truly all started with a sip. And I'm Julie. I'm a horizontal healer, a holistic healer, an intuitive Akashic Reiki master, where we tap into the energy of the universe. I'm a storyteller to children. I'm a professional speaker, but the most important job I have is a world server. For the last few years, the purpose to my pillow has been to offer assistance and help to others that are looking for a way out of pain, that are living disabled like I am, but they are in darkness. Their subconscious mind is so full of so many different traumas and insecurities that they can't see past to what their true potential is. And I work with women, men, and children, and especially children, helping them to color pain and color their emotions so they don't have to have a trash can. Our goal is to those of us who still hold our trash cans, we are going to learn the tips and tricks of how to upcycle them using the Feargiveness frequency. And once we've upcycled them, we then now have the keys and codes for us to be able to hit and tackle any fear and really hug any fear that comes within our 8 feet of energy. So as we walk through the things that we can control, the people that you surround yourself with, who do you spend the most time with? Who, if you look at this through the life aspect, when it comes to leadership, that's who you hire, that whole process. But we really are going to focus on the life aspect of our trash can today. And what energies are we surrounding ourselves with? Where do we spend our time throughout the day? So it's really taking an inventory of the energies of everything that comes within our 8 feet. And then the products and services that we put forth within the world is not only the energy that we come to the world. Are we a victim? Are we the negative Nancy? Are we do we talk about trauma a lot? Do we bring trauma into conversations? Do we get excited about other people's trauma and dramas? All of those things are, how do you put forth your energy into the world? Do people like to spend time with you? Do you have a smile on your face? What type of energy do they get when they come within your environment? All of those things are the things that we have full control over as we are healing ourselves. And the healing process is never ending. So for upcycling our life's trash can, we have this 8-week program where we take you through step by step of tips and tricks for you to add of how to put your rainbow on repeat, how to tap into the universal energy of the divine father and mother or source energy, and how to open up our rainbow bridge, how to build our trash can. And for some of us, we know we have all these traumas and insecurities, and they are just floating and running through our infinity loop. But how do we pull them all in and actually put them in one location in a secure container where we can hold space for that and take the time to crawl in with our inner child and learn more about how they need our help to release some of this. So I'm going to double check let's see if I can, just want to double check our waiting room and see if we have anyone in there. So it looks like we have to, okay, perfect. It looks like we're good. So this is an 8-week course, and it starts at the beginning of August. We do it on our waitlist Wednesdays. It gives us an opportunity to really upcycle. Going through this process, we will teach you how to schedule out just small increments throughout your day and your week that you can focus on this trash can. And we show you how to really connect with your rainbow bridge and to do a colorful cleanse, a shower. On week 3, we are talking out the trash. So we are filling up our trash can with everything and anything that's ever happened to us within our lives. And this is where we get to tell our story. How many of you have shared your story from beginning to end with anyone? And have we done it recently? So we show you how to talk out your can, whether you journal it out, you use voice notes like I do, because though my hands are moving right now, they only move here, not here, on the shoulders very often. So I try to keep them contained as much as possible, and that saves me a little energy. So we get to talk out the trash, and we get to go through our trash can truths and create an I am inventory. And this is everything that we are, good, bad, and indifferent. It goes down on a piece of paper. And then the following week, we ask you to color outside of the lines and take that I am inventory. And once we are in our energy of our rainbow bridge and our frequency, we will ask each I am what color it is. And the moment you ask the question and you tap into that energy, you will receive a pop of color most of the time, or you will receive in your body where that energy is currently being stored. So we have very easy ABCs of activating our body consciousness to show where in our body that energy is being stored. And then we have the 1, 2, 3s of coloring pain and putting it on a scale of a 1 to really 11 of how strong that pain, trauma, insecurity, shame, blame, and that energy of that I am is within our bodies. On week 5, we learn the helpful handful. Trust our trash can triggers to teach. So how many of us have been punched in the gut or slapped in the face by something that someone else has said that has literally derailed our day and taken us to crawl inside our trash can? It may have lowered our energy, and bringing that trigger may put us on the pillow for a few days, that we don't want to get out of bed, that we're lifeless in energy. All of that happens when we are triggered. So what if when we are triggered, we have simple sips and tricks to know how to flow the energy through us, how to pause on that trigger, give it a hug, and let it know that on Tuesday or Thursday, when we dig in our trash can, that you are going to be held and I'm holding space for you. And then we can move through and flow through that trigger to get ourselves back on track of life, and to know that we have a date with our trigger in just a couple days that we get to then learn how to jam it out. So week 6 is all about the gets, and gratitude elevates truth. And there was a moment where I had to just get grateful. I had to get grateful for being alive. I had to get grateful that though I have a spinal drain where my entire spinal cord has to pour out every single day for the first 3 hours of the day before I get my voice back or any movement, I had to get grateful for all of it. I had to get it out and then get it back in. And so we learned a very simple process about boomeranging gratitude. And when you boomerang gratitude, it comes back to you. When you boomerang most things, and most boomerangs come back to you with higher love and light. So we learn this beautiful process, and I get to teach you how to boomerang gratitude, whether it's a hunter boomerang that the universe holds on to us till we're strong enough to heal, or my favorite, which are bird boomerangs. And we just release them to fly. And they always show up in new colors and new ways to heal as they explore and expand. And then week 7, we are in our jam session. So with every trigger, with every trauma, with every insecurity, we are giving it love, wrapping it in a hug. We are self-forgiving ourselves. This journey is about no one else but you. And then we give it gratitude. So we change the narrative, we change the color through grace and gratitude. And we do that by jamming out. And in the beginning, the jams were very simple. Journaling out the trigger or trauma or insecurity or whatever our inner child wanted to work on for that day, affirming it with affirmations. And then the M&Ms are a lot. It can be they can expand: mirror work, meditation, music, muscle movement, mindfulness. There's a few more to it. And so it just started growing, that we would journal it out, we would affirm it, we would sit within the mirror, and we would talk it out with our higher self to really understand what it is that we had just experienced through this trauma. And then we use music, meditation, muscle movement to really truly upcycle it. And our jam sessions have grown to be jammin' over the last 2-3 years. And the B is for barefoot grounding and breath work. And the ING is for our intuition, nature, and gratitude. So you will create your own jam sessions, and it can be whatever it is you decide it to be. We really start with the basics of journaling, whether that's through our voice or through a pen or through telling it to someone else, having a trusted mentor or someone who can hold space for you while you're going through this is really important. And that's why we have created this conscious community where the healthy, wealthy insiders are always available to hold space for you and to help you through those things. And then we have our last week is week 8, leading us right into the fall solstice. And it is our violet flame. So every Friday we have a pillow party, and that's where we violet flame, transmute, and release everything from the trash can of our truths that we've been working on for that week. That's where those bird boomerangs come in. I can't dance vertically, so I dance horizontally on a pillow. And I love these pillow parties with my inner child. And I really focus on what those rainbow repeats are throughout the week. So once we've gone through the 8 weeks, and all of these things will land into your week in some way, and it'll be a little bit different for everyone. And so when it comes to scheduling out your time to upcycle, That'll be really on an individual basis on what works for you. When do you feel like you can get in time with nature or meditation? And we get to personalize this powwow for you, to ensure that it's not too overwhelming, that you have time to integrate, to rest, to release, and then to receive. So for me, Mondays is a day where I just kind of map out what and manifest out what I want my week to look like. And I already know from the weekend if I picked up any triggers. And so I know that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are trash can truth days, that I'm going to be able to sit within my trash can to take out each piece of trauma or insecurity and really start to love on it, to start to polish it up, to take away the dirt and the grime. Some traumas and insecurities, they bleed. And so you might pick one up that bleeds onto another and onto another and onto another. And when you have the container built where you get to spend your time, you're connected with the divine father and mother, you're sitting in your center, you will only be given what you can handle. So we can't do our whole entire trash can at once. It is truly piece by piece, but some pieces will bleed onto another. And some that you think you've upcycled fully, there's another one that bleeds onto them. And every time we upcycle, we are given the keys, the codes, the colors, and the tips and tricks for us to utilize as a modality to heal as anything comes back up again. And then Weightless Wednesdays is really when we do the upcycling. We allow it to flow through our bodies, and we utilize a ton of tips and tricks to do that. So Fridays are our fun days where we get to interact with our inner child. We dance, we do inner child creative connection. Saturdays, we are present, always looking up, enjoying nature. And then Sundays, we relax, let go, trust, surrender, release, and receive. And these, again, are very simple processes to add. It could take 5 minutes of your day. You could take 30 minutes of your day. If you find your love of muscle movement and doing the yoga moves or spending time in nature, you may find yourself meditating for an hour or more. It's all going to be really individualized to your frequency and at what level and vibration that you are at. And as we move forward, our currency will be our frequency, and energy will be our currency. So we are just preparing ourselves for releasing all of this BS, all the bullshit that we are holding in our trash cans of limiting beliefs. It's kind of like kitty litter. We're sifting through the kitty litter to show us what BS we still are holding onto within our limiting belief system and our subconscious mind. So today I want to take us through the opportunity to build it. If you build it, they will heal. And this is an opportunity for us to build out. And the very first step in Feargiveness is to build out your trash can. So whether you physically have one, do I still have it? Oh, it's not close by. I have a physical trash can here that I would use to burn some of the process that I went through. And what's so great about it is that you can physically do it if you need to have that visual where you're writing out each piece of paper and putting it in your trash can. If that works for you, for some, it does. For others, it's drawing it out and just having this visual, using their artistic skills to draw out their trash can. And for others, it's just visualizing the space and the place and space that you go within your rainbow bridge, your center that holds all of that for you. So you can decide and take a look and see which one of these are bring joy to you. And your trash can is to bring you joy. What brings you joy? Maybe it's the oceanscapes that bring you joy, or nature, or flowers, or birds, butterflies, sunflowers. I love color. So my favorite flower is sunflower, but my favorite one is the lion, the lioness, and all the power and that Lyran energy that it holds. And then also the mosaic ones, where it reminds me of where in Japan, I believe, when a glass or a teacup gets broken, they use gold to fill in the cracks and make it new again. And so there's so many different ways for you to create your own trash can. But I really encourage you this week to build it. What does it look like for you? Does it have a lid? Is it a lid you open? Do you need more assistance? So you need to have the little pedal at the bottom, like I did. Maybe you need yours on wheels because it must travel with you. So you get to decide what your trash can looks like and put that in kind of your mental picture as we go forward. And then we are going to walk you through just a little bit of the taking out the trash. So taking out the trash talking out the trash is taking out your trash. It is really finding a moment where you are securely hugged within your container. You've opened your rainbow bridge from the Divine Father, the Divine Mother. You've pulled in the light. You have surrounded yourselves with colors. You're in your intuitive channel. This is when you can start talking out the trash. It is great to have someone who is a good listener, that's great at holding space, that won't be adding their own story to yours, their own narrative. They are just fully there to listen. And I love when I get the opportunity to hear people's stories and to help them to talk out the trash and just to truly put them in a hug of healing, universally guided love and support, so they have the opportunity to just share. And ask yourselves, when is the last time that you have shared your full story with anyone in your life from beginning to end? And if you have a hard time understanding where to start, or and this isn't just every trauma, this is everything good and bad and indifferent. Did you win a singing competition in school? Did you love your shop teacher and the things that you were able to build with metal? And do you remember the toolbox that you might have made, or the bird feeder that you might have made in shop? Maybe it was the culinary class that you had in junior high or in grade school. I remember a third grade teacher who the love of selling and merchandise came from a third grade teacher who we sold pencils, and we each got to create our own pencil. And then once we invested in what that pencil looked like, from the eraser to, did it have hearts on it or basketballs, or how long was it? It's going to be a short pencil or a long pencil. When we got to create that in third grade, it was such a I knew why I loved being in the fashion industry because of that third grade teacher. So it's not just about the traumas and insecurities. When we fill up our trash can with everything we have, that is where the gratitude comes in. Because though in my story in that same year, I had trauma that happened to me, I was able to offset that and change the narrative a little bit about that third grade year, because I had this teacher who showed me how to imagine, create, bring to life, and sell pencils for 25 cents in the hallway. And once we have talked out our trash and we have our I am inventory, we really are asking you to color outside the lines. It's to close your eyes within your rainbow bridge and go through each and every one of the IMs and color it. So if you do have divorce or abandonment in your trash can, close your eyes. Feel the ABCs, the activate body consciousness. Where do you feel that abandonment? Where do you feel the divorce? Where do you feel those feelings come up for you? And where in your body is it being held? Well, I can feel it in my hips. And well, what color is that? What color do you feel, sense, or imagine? And it's red. It's bright red. It's crimson even. It's pulsating. So when we color each of our IMs and we move through that whole inventory, it really allows us to use color, because color holds a vibration and a frequency. Use color, and it also usually matches up with our chakras, our chakra systems, or where it's being held in our body. Can usually, if it's being held in the hips, it's usually in the root. If it's being held, like our heart is hurting, it's in the heart chakra, and it's usually in a forest green or a emerald green color. So that's how, in working with clients, especially children, that it tends to really match up where that energy fields are as well. And so once we have our entire rainbow and our timeline of rainbow, it helps us at different places to be able to start to connect with our inner child. And then we learn how to boomerang. And what we do is we go through that IM process and we go through the inventory and we look at all the colors and the frequency, the energy, where it's held in the body. And we go through and we pull out anything that's going to be a hunter boomerang. And there's 3 types of boomerangs that I'll go quickly. There is the gratitude boomerang, or the regular boomerang, that is completely divinely created. In the aerodynamics of it is when you throw it out there into the world, it comes right back to you. That's the boomerang we all know and love. There's a boomerang called the hunter boomerang that is used in the indigenous tribes, that when you throw out the boomerang, you throw it with such fierce that it strikes its prey to kill. And that the only time that you go out to receive this boomerang back is when you go out on your pilgrimage and you find what you were hunting, and you bring that in, you bring that food, that hunt back to your tribe to use in every way, shape, or form. So what we do with our hunter boomerangs is we go through with you and we pull out anything that we are not ready to heal, that is just too overwhelming. We don't have enough tools in our toolbox, in our treasure chest, to show us the modalities needed for us to heal that at this time. So we graciously send out those hunter boomerangs and we give them to the universe to hold on to, and to show us that when we are ready to heal, we will receive signs from the universe that it's time to go on the pilgrimage, go out and pick up our hunter boomerang, find that stored trash or trauma, and bring it back into our trash can and into our feargiveness frequency, and it's time for us to heal it. And then we have our bird boomerangs, which we release all the time when we're done with something. That is our upcycling. We let it go. We have surrendered to it. It gets to do and be whatever it is to be. And then we have our get boomerangs. Our gratitude elevates truth. So gratitude boomerangs are super fun. They're just the gets you throw out there, and it truly, every time you give gratitude, gratitude comes back to you. And so if we have anyone, you can put it in the chat box or leave it in the messaging of this recording, that every color holds a vibration and every color holds a frequency. So whether it's your favorite color, your birth flame, everyone has a birth color of that is a color of their birth date. So if you would like to start off your Feargiveness frequency and add your own color to your infinity loop, I would love to light your birth flame for you. And all I would need is the date, the day, and the month, not the year, just the day and the month of your birth. So you can message me if you want to know what your birth flame is, and that will start and ignite your Feargiveness frequency of your very first color. Can be your birth color and birth flame. And when you wear color, you meditate on a specific color, you surround yourself with it, you drink it in the rainbow of sips. Life changes for you, through you, and to you using color. And if you are looking for ways to color pain, this is a great opportunity for you to start, and a great space to start by just coloring life, adding color to your life. The last few tips and tricks I'd love to give you before we end this beautiful master class is water also holds memory, it holds vibration, it holds frequency, it holds communication. So speak kindly to your water. Put your intentions into your water. You will then get back and flow through, have that flow through you. And it's scientifically proven that it takes 11 minutes for water that you drink, from the minute you sip it in, for it to add nutrients and start to flow through your body. So if you're dealing with a trigger, if you're dealing with life in general, ensuring that your water is as pure as you can get it, and that you are adding intention to it. Every sip, you are love, you are light, you are strength, you are wisdom, you are unity. All of those affirmations you can think and say as you're sipping it in, but know that within 11 minutes, you're already flowing that trigger, trauma, insecurity, shame, and blame through your body, and you will feel better. If you want to karmic that, standing barefoot on the ground will increase the amount of time and the energy. And for chronic pain, you can't have chronic pain. Your body cannot hold on to chronic pain and inflammation in a body that is energetically grounded. And I didn't know that for this first 8 years of my journey of chronic pain. It wasn't till the last year and a half that we have been standing barefoot outside at sunrise and sunset to receive that additional energy that's coming in from the sun that allows us to move the energy through being energetically grounded to the earth. So water, earth, RB jamming sessions, those are the most tips and tricks that I can come up with today. Two more. Energy attaches to you within your 8 feet. So if you put yourself in a big, huge infinity loop, horizontally and vertically, that energy, you can attract other people's energy within that time, within that zone, that 8 feet around you. So really asking yourself, anytime that you're feeling your vibrations lower, it could even be from your kids, when you go to pick them up from school, running to the grocery store, even getting gas, any of those simple interactions, the coffee stand, any of those, that just ask if you feel like your vibration is lowering, or you just don't know why you're feeling a little off from the intention that you set for yourself for that day. All you need to do is ask for, please remove all energy that is not mine. And the moment you ask the universe of that, your higher self, your guides, and the divine father and mother will automatically remove all energy that is not yours. And so this is critical when you're working with triggers. If you're triggered by something, you trust your trash can triggers to teach. You need to ensure that it's yours first. So removing all energy that's not yours allows you to then know what is yours. And then you can activate your body consciousness, your ABC. Where is it in my body? Where is it being stored? When, what color it is? And then put it on the schedule to work with and to upcycle in your upcoming trash can truth days. So you will be able to take the pause time, not to have it affect your current day and derail you from what you've manifested for that day and set intentions for, and to know that you have time, that you're going to make time to be able to upcycle that in your next session. And I think that's really it. We just have a couple minutes left, so I want to leave you with showing you what a rainbow bridge is. So at the beginning of every one of our powwows, and if you are looking for a way to connect, or you are wanting to start your own forgiveness frequency, and you don't want to wait through the eight weeks that are ahead, you can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram, on Telegram. There's a place and space with Feargiveness in all of these listed areas. We have a YouTube channel that I put in any of the energy updates that we receive. There are chapters in there of how to start your own forgiveness journeys. We also have the conscious community that will be doing more master classes. We have a podcast as well. So anytime that I have the opportunity to voice out our story, or voice out ways to tips and tricks to help others, there are multiple places there. And then every Saturday, I am live on Facebook, on SpeakUp Events Facebook page, where we get to connect with 100 children at the Selecho Orphanage in Zambia, Africa. And for the last year, every Saturday, we've created Saturday schools of color for the children. And not only these children, other children in addition that are going through neuroblastoma cancer, and helping them to color their cancer journeys and the pain that they are experiencing inside, outside, upside, and down. And it's really a way for me to give back and to continue to be a voice of the children by teaching them that there's a way out of poverty and pain with using color. So you can join us live, meet our children, connect with the beautiful hearts that are behind Speak Up in Color, and help us all face our fears, face everything and rise. And we want to raise up these children that are living in such dire straits, and they didn't know color before we started, and now they have favorite colors, and now they're learning English, and they are facing every fear, and they go hungry more times than I can count. But I know that everything that I do here in the Feargiveness community gets to flow through them and to them. And every donation that is made for services that are provided through the work that I do as a intuitive Akashic Reiki master and a horizontal holistic healer, every donation for every service and every powwow goes directly to the children. I have not made a cent to my name in 2 years. And that was a purpose that I gave myself over to serving the divine and to give back. I got to save my own life in a sense through the powers that be, and through this divine work that I get to do, and to give back to children, to be a voice of the children, and to funnel in any of the services that are provided so they go directly to raising up the rainbow of our children. I will continue to do it until my pillow, I can't talk anymore, really. That's kind of the focus that we are at. Whew. So let's join me in a rainbow hug. We are going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and pull all of the beautiful white light energy from the Divine Father sky and bring that down through the top of our head, pulling that energy through our crown chakra, our third eye, this beautiful light. It's just so warm and bright. It's filling in our eyes. We can feel it in our sinuses. It's pulling that white light down through our throat chakra, spreading it out across our shoulders, removing the weight of the world from our shoulders. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. That white light flowing through our arms, our fingers, flowing through our upper chest, filling in all of our ribs, surrounding around our lungs and our heart, flowing through our I am presence of our Iron Man light into the solar plex in our stomach. And this is where the white light begins to spin right through the solar plex, down into the sacral chakra, pulling in that white light from above our heads, flowing it down into this beautiful spin, funneling it through our root chakra, down into our hips and our womb, through our groin, surrounding our knees, our calves, our ankles, flowing this beautiful white light down into the earth, flowing through the grass, the soil, the sediments, the earth, the rocks, the minerals, the crystals, the water, flowing us all the way down, spiral by spiral by spiral, into the core of the earth, where we get wrapped in the arms of the Divine Mother as she hugs us for 60 seconds. Feel her glow. Feel all of the colors starting to surround you. The magentas, the earth tones, the reds of the root chakra, the orange of the sacral, the yellow of the solar, the green of the heart, the serene blue of the throat, the indigo of the third eye, the violet of the crown chakra, the beaming white light of source, the golds and the magentas again, the violets, the peaches. There's so many beautiful colors. There's a peacock blue that's shining through, and she is just wrapping you in this cocoon of pure, unconditional love and support. You are held within her arms. And as she releases your cocoon, you start to float. And you will float back up from the core of her hug and starting the spin back up through the sediments of the earth, the layers of crystals, of soil, of water, back through the green blades of grass, in through the bottoms of the feet, as we surround ourselves in a secure cocoon. We are being wrapped completely in the Divine Mother's love as it flows up through the hips and the root chakra of red, the sacral of orange, the bright solar colors of the yellow in the solar plex, up flowing through the low heart and the emerald greens, the high heart and the hot pink hues, the serene blues and the sky blues of the throat, flowing us up through into the mouth. We can taste the cotton candy of the love that's being provided to us, flowing through into the dark night sky of the indigos and into the lavender light of the flame of purity, of transmutation and light. And as all of these colors start to flow up and through and out our crown chakra, they flow down and around the outside of our light body being. And they start to fill in, flowing over the outside of our face, our hair, our shoulders, our hands, and light and color. Rainbows are just dripping from us. And this plasma light and love starts to fill in our rainbow bridge and fill in the 8 feet of space all around us, allowing that iridescent light, the crystalline diamond light to surround you and flow in and out and around. As we sit in the center of our rainbow bridge and our infinity loop that is filled with all of these colors that flows 8 feet out, 8 feet up, vertical and horizontal, diagonal, is surrounding ourselves with this rainbow light and love. We are activating a frequency for all those who are with us today. We're closing off the top of the crown so we can sit within this luminous light and this sphere of love. We can take it throughout our day. We can expand it out into our home. Wherever we go, this rainbow light is surrounding us. We can gift it to others as they come within our 8 feet. We get to choose. Thank you so much for being here today in this Feargiveness frequency, for learning some of the tips and tricks for upcycling your own a trash can of traumas and insecurities, and for raising up this frequency with your love and light as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. See if I can stop. Stop the share.